And hello everyone, it's Ellen, and you're watching Scientifica Mathematica. Welcome back. You might notice from the title of this video and the words that are on the screen right now that, well, I'm not teaching genetics. What about that? This is going to be lesson 1 on cryptology. I can't promise a second, but this is the first. It's on the simple Aristocrat cipher. And before we start, I'm going to explain what cryptology and what this cipher is. So, cryptology is simply study of ciphers, and we people who are interested in this, we like to crack codes, and it's really fun actually. I got into this from Science Olympiad, something. If that's at your school, you should really check it out. And so, yeah, Aristocrat cipher is known as a monoalphabetic cipher. Let me spell that out for you. Monoalphabetic. It's a monoalphabetic cipher, meaning every single letter is replaced by another one to solve. It's a really simple code. Looks something like that. It's just a jumble of random letters, but every letter decodes to a certain one, a different letter. And so, for example, like a T might decode to an E, and every single T in the entire phrase or the entire sentence you're trying to decode will equal to an E. I can't promise you this for every single one, only for Aristocrat ciphers, because others are different. The mathematical ciphers are much harder. Like, all the letters are different, and so that one's going to be hard. But this one is one of the easiest, and I want to teach it to you. So, Aristocrat, there's one rule you need to know. A letter cannot decode to itself. That's the one thing you need to remember. For example, if here you have an H, and you think it might be an H, it can't be, because letters never decode themselves. And in fact, if you click H, it won't even show, because this website's pretty good. Anyway, this is what a typical Aristocrat looks like. This one's kind of short, and it half the time, sometimes, it'll give you a hint. This one, it says Ayn Rand, meaning it's a quote by Ayn Rand. And a bonus if you know who she is. She's actually a philosopher. I've read one of her books. And if you know who it is, then it tends to be easier to find out who it is. For example, if you have like Albert Einstein, he has a lot of witty comments on stupidity and intelligence, and people being geniuses, and fish climbing a tree. But if you don't know who it is, good luck. This is Ayn Rand. She's very philosophical. And she never fails to state her philosophy of rational self-interest. It's called objectivism, and it's that a person's greatest moral goal in life should be finding happiness by not putting others first. They put themselves first. That's her philosophy. And having that in mind, you have a better idea of what the quote is going to be about. And so we're going to start here. There's one important thing you need, also known as a letter frequency chart. You probably don't have one, but you can Google one. Most of them are different, but I have one that most of them are pretty similar, actually. And every single chart has at least one similarity, and this one is the appearance of the letter E. It is easily the most common letter in the English language. It appears actually 11% of the time, 11.1607% of the time. That's a lot. The letter A comes next, with way behind, with 8.4966%. Now, these numbers aren't always correct. They come from probably a test paragraph or an essay. But anyway, we have that. And keep in mind that vowels tend to be really common. Except for U, that's not so much. But the vowels A, E, I, O, they're among the top 5 most popular letters. And also, one more thing to keep in mind. Unfortunately, they don't always follow the frequency rules. There aren't rules. They're just numbers that sometimes don't make sense. So, in that case, we're going to start with this one by Albert Einstein. You all know who Albert Einstein is. He's genius. All his quotes are very motivational. And so, we're going to start here by going through. And I think the easiest thing to do is look at one-letter words and try to find out what they are. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 S's, and it's pretty obvious. They can only either decode to I or A because those are the only two one-letter words that are in the English language. And you can take a guess because you can always change it later and go back if it fails. I'd guess A because it's almost 1 entire percent more common than I, 7%, 8.49%. So I'm just going to put an A there just to fill it in. And that's that. And I like this website because it gives you however many characters. And so we're just going to go through it. And you might notice, oh, this L actually has a lot of characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is actually even more than the A. And the only letter in the English language that appears more than A is E. Yeah, you guessed it, E. And so, trial and error. You put that there. It might be wrong, it might be right, and you can always erase it, you can always change it. And so you have this. You might be just insanely confused and wonder, how am I supposed to solve that? Well, that's where the letter frequency chart comes in handy. The next most popular letter, actually I'm going to take the next few that are all pretty close, R, I, O, T, and N. None of them are on here, and so we're just going to click through, find a common one. Ooh, there's that. That one's pretty common. But it's kind of hard to tell from that. Not so much. Not so much. That one too. And if there's any short words, like 3-letter words, you can guess what it is, but I find it hard. Also, these two words, are the same word, so it makes it much easier. And so the rest is trial and error. You just try to figure it out. We should find the thing you want to do is find out vowels first. And you're going to find something that appears a lot. I guess that appears a lot, but I highly doubt it's a vowel, seeing that it appears both next to A and E. So just it's common sense, find things like that. And so this might be harder than I thought. Anyway, you might notice that these two letters are same. I'm just gonna, maybe we should guess a random letter. I actually know this one because I did some research before I started on Albert Einstein codes, and I can tell which one it is. So it often takes a while. Your goal is to solve one under 10 minutes because they're the easiest that way. So I'm going to give you a hint right now because this one's kind of hard. It's an N. And so now you look here and it seems much easier. A lot of letters are already there. And so here, this is what you do. This is a 3-letter word. You only need 1 letter left. And what 3-letter word starts with N-E? I believe there's only, 2? Yeah, there's only 2 full words. And that's net and new. And I have never heard of an Albert Einstein quote that ended with net. I haven't even seen an Albert Einstein quote. Anyway, we're going to put a W there because just a guess. And we're going to go through the rest and see if anything. These 2 words appear multiple times. I mean, this, you can't really guess it, but you have to at some point. This letter appears a decent amount of times. Let's see, that appears. So you should, Google is actually pretty helpful. You can go around searching 3-letter words where the middle letter is A and just kind of look through it. Oh god, there's a lot. So, and it gets hard, but this is the next most common letter. And we're gonna go through here. How many bags are there? Okay. It's not gonna be banned because, well, N is already taken. Let's see if there's any more common letters. 4, 3, 2, 3. They're all kind of eh. This one's actually kind of hard. I'm sorry. Should have scoured for more easy ones. But let's see. Here. So it's another 3-letter word. I guess it'd be easier to solve it first. And 3-letter words that start with W. Off the top of my head, I can only think of 2. Who and was. And it cannot be was because the A is already taken. And I'm just going to put an H there because why not? It's literally, this entire thing is trial and error. It's that easy. But it's time consuming. And so you'll be like, oh, look, these 2 words are the same. They're about to be filled out. Oh, I forgot to put the O because who. Anyway, there are, 2, 3 words that start with HA. I think of hat, hay, has. I think that's about it. Ham? But who ham doesn't exactly work. Who hat doesn't work. Who hay, who has. That's more likely. You have that. So I think you notice this word. It's quite obvious what letter goes there. Because what other word could go there? Letter. Anyway, keep going around and you see that. Any. It's clearly something related to that word. Anyone. And so, me being me, I assume a lot of things. It's very safe to assume in aristocrats because that's really the only thing you can do. So I'm just going to say it's anything. Whoops. Because it fits. And so it's coming together. Anyone who has blank, blank A, blank has blank, blank anything new. And so at this point, we're going to use the letter frequency chart. Right now, I think that's the letter that appears the most times. Now if we go down, E is taken, A is taken, R is not. So we can put an R there. And what about it? You see words. And so that's clearly never. You're going to put it to B. And so anyone who has never, blank, A, blank, has never tried anything. And so you have 2 words left. Anyone who has never, blank, A blank, has never tried anything new. And, I mean, that seems like Albert Einstein. I want you to guess this letter. Pause the video if you need to. If you already see it, well. That's how easy Aristocrats is. Anyway, if you don't, just plug in the remaining letters. See if it makes sense. That does not. That also does not. That does not. And you just keep going. Aren't you glad pencils have erasers? Z doesn't exist because it doesn't let you type it. X. Oh, wait, that's weird. And there's that letter. Okay. Made a mistake. And there's 1 letter left. What other word other than mistake has those letters in that order? And so you fill in the last letter. It's mistake. And there we go. best. Anyway, I solved this in 9 minutes and 55 seconds. Usually, in a competition, you would have, if I think something like this would be a quote unquote timed question. You have 10 minutes to answer it. It's 10 minutes minus that time. And in seconds, multiplied by a certain number gets you a bonus score. In this case, I would have finished it 5 minutes before the timer, which is very depressing, but I would have gotten bonus points nevertheless. And anyway, we're done with that. We're going to go on to the next one. That one. And so, Ayn Rand, as I said earlier. It's very philosophical. Talk about being, I guess, happy, individualism, objectivism, all that stuff. And I say this one because, number one, Ayn Rand is hard. She was 1800s, 1900s, I think. Am I losing my memory? 1900s, meaning the English she speaks in is not completely modern English. So here is kind of hard because the frequency chart doesn't apply a lot of the time. But we have something here, a double N. You see that? At the end. And what, off the top of your head, think of all the words that end with two letters the same. I can think of 3, 2, all, and B. And I highly doubt the word bee, B-E-E, like the animal, would be in an Ayn Rand. So you would guess, is it 2 or all? I'm pretty sure there's others I'm missing. But I find that they'd be the most probable. And so you could search up 3-letter words with the same last 2 letters because that works sometimes. But just guess. If you want right now, you can pause the video, write this down, try to solve it yourself. Because, well, why not? Also, this website, api.razzlepuzzles.com/cryptogram, I'm going to put the link down below. And you can do a lot of Aristocrat practice here. So, I'm just going to go for it, put an L there. There's got to be an A there. The thing is, there's only one A. But A appears 8.5, almost 8.5% of the time. You might be like, uh-oh, that might not work. And you might be confused, but there's really... Also, I want to time this. Give me a second. Let's reset. So I'm going to reset that. We're going to start over. We have all here. Whoops. And so we're going to go from there. So duh is pretty common, but it's Ayn Rand. So we're going to keep going. This, it seems to be a common letter, but I cannot think of... It would be E. I say it would be E, but I can't think of any 3-letter word that starts with E other than I, so I'd say it's not. I'd say maybe it's A, because it's pretty common. But what 2-letter word ends with A? None. And I doubt there's any 3-letter words that end with A. Era, never mind. Anyway, you just keep going down. R. I highly doubt it. A sentence cannot end with the word or. You just keep going down. I. 2-letter word ends with I, doesn't exist. O. Possible, but O is not that common. T. Seems likely because you see 2 different 3-letter words that end with it. 2-letter word that ends with it, so I'm going to put that there. So we have that. And this one's easy. There's 1 letter left. 2-letter word that ends with T. I think there's only one. There's 2. At and it. But A is taken, so you put an I. It's all about process of elimination, common sense, a lot of trial and error. And so this one, it's either going to be it or in or is, but it is taken. N is not as far down as S, but is or it, is or in. Anyway, I don't know. We're going to go away, something else. And I see something that's very big, a 3-letter word that starts with T. I'm just going to immediately assume it's the, because if it's not, we can always change it. But it's easier to assume that because, well, what other 3-letter word that starts with T at the beginning of a sentence is not the? Anyway, we're going to keep going here. This might seem boring or time consuming, but it's actually really fun once you get to learn it. To be honest, I could have just explained this to you and not given you any examples, but what's the fun in that? And now we're just gonna, this is a really common letter. Vowel, probably. Because I highly doubt a vowel, a non-vowel, could be there. Can it? So you have A, E, I, O, U. A already there, E's already there, I's already there. I've told you that U is very not common, have I? But U is among the consonants because for some reason it doesn't appear that much. I'm just going to guess O because I can guess it's aristocrats. And we're going to keep going. And so we have an almost finished word here. And we can just keep plugging in words that fit. So rot, bot, pot, dot, sot, fought, got. I don't know. Just keep going down the alphabet. I'd say not because that's most reasonable. Anyway, you have this one. You just keep punching through. Find words that have like one letter left. Only because I don't think there's another letter that fits there. This one here. Those. Is there another one? I don't think so. So you can put an S there. And look, it filled in the is. So the blank is not, blank all, blank, blank, only, blank those, who, because, I mean, if you say it out loud, you hear it, see it. Oh wait, there's a letter here. So only 2 letters can go there. Seep, which would be P, and seam. But P, K, and M. But those who seep it doesn't exactly make sense because those is probably referring to a person or an animal. Seem, no, you need a verb there because, yeah, a verb should go there. I immediately assume seek, so I'll put a K there. So the blank is not blank all, blank, blank, only blank those who seek it. And so now is when you guess. We have this word, the closest, and we just put in a bunch of letters that still exist. No, that's not a word. That's not a word. Pen? All pen? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. All den? Nope. These aren't words. Nope, that's already taken. Anyway, my point is you just keep going. And I said those, right? Those refers to the fact that there is someone else there. And so men, the blank is not blank all men, blank only, blank those who seek it. And so you literally just guess. You're going to scroll down. This seems to be the most common letter that's left. E is already there. A is already there. R. Now you have that. Almost finished word. Only one letter can go there. Truth. The truth is not. And again, if you look at the remaining letters, only one letter fits. F. So you have the truth is not for all men. Blank. Only for those who seek it. And you see a negative here. Classic English rules, there's a negative. Usually there's a but. Not like the physical but the but. Coordinating conjunction but. And there you go. Why did that take 19? Yeah, I had that sitting out there. Anyway, the truth is not for all men, but only for those who seek it. And that's your finished quote. And that's what I like about cryptograms. You can go to new game. Oh, there's an app. This one's kind of long, but there's a contraction here. It's kind of really fun if you keep going. If you think it's long, click here. Go to new game. Like if you don't know who Matthew Quick is, you can keep going. Albert Einstein. I think that's the same one we did earlier. But anyway, my point is cryptograms is really nice for aristocrats. And so I hope you learned something here. And I hope my examples were decent. But that's pretty much what aristocrats is. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll see you next time on Scientifica Mathematica. Thank you.